Hey guys, this is a 200 round review for my girlfriend's Walther PDP. She has the 5-inch full-size model here. And what we're going to do is do a safety inspection, visually, physically, pull the trigger in a safe direction. And what all has been done to this gun? So far, nothing. This is the stock configuration. We've added a light. This is the Harbor Freight Braun light. She just wanted some added weight in front. This is the cheapest way to add a significant amount of weight. It just happens to be nice and flush with the 5-inch variant. What do I think of this pistol? I have shot it less than my girlfriend at this point in time. The thing that I have found that is most encouraging for this firearm, and I would say is a huge plus for it, is that her very first round firing this gun was a dead center bullseye at 15 yards with iron sights. These irons are just little flat white dot high vis sights, but they're extremely accurate straight out of the box. She nailed the target. She looked just as surprised as I did when I saw it happen, because imagine your target's, good 2 foot across each way, and she hit perfectly where the line would cross right there. And she proceeded to hit groups that were about quarter size. And every time she switched aim, I would be like, okay, you've got too many rounds there. Go up here. She'd hit quarter size groups. When she picked up her speed, when she started firing a little bit faster, that's when I started to notice that her groups got a little bigger. But she went from quarter size groups up to about this big, and it was the difference between like taking your time to aim, breathe, pull the trigger versus maybe going a little faster. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. Not particularly fast shooting, but faster than you would if you were just taking your time to aim, presenting the target, breathing, pulling to the wall, and then getting to the wall, knowing that you're still on target, and then pulling the trigger. But she was able to do really well with it. When I used the firearm, I, again, had the same exact experience. It seemed extremely accurate for irons. The trigger is so light and like so easy to manipulate that you have almost no resistance left or right on the trigger, so you're never pulling the gun down or pushing it over due to trigger pull. So this is the trigger pull. There's the wall. And the wall is so natural. You can feel, so the safety right there, as soon as the safety disengages, you're at the wall. So you're never going to accidentally, like right here, if I pull it without pulling the safety, and then I push the safety in, that's where the wall is. So it feels super natural. Here's the reset. Almost didn't do that right. Let's do it one more time. The reset. We're going to pull it out. Reset. Trigger. Okay, being a 5-inch model means it's a heavier gun. It's full size, so the grip, even in my hands, I have short hands, but there's still extra space here. If you put a mag well on it, where it's clearly able to accept one, it would come out to about here. So there's a lot of extra space on the grip. And my girlfriend's hands are a little smaller than mine, so she ends up having, looks more like that in her hands, where she's got that extra space down here. And then it being a 5-inch gun means that it's very heavy. It's front forward with a light on it, obviously, when you put an optic and potentially a mag well on here, fully loaded with rounds, it feels very well balanced. I saw a video with Ben Stoger. He is a professional shooter. He was talking about specifically Walther PDPs, and he said that for his money initially, he had the steel frame 4.5-inch Walther PDP, but he said that he initially preferred the 5-inch polymer model. I think that there's a lot to be said from that. He has since changed his mind and switched back over to using the steel frame. But there's a lot to be said that from a professional shooter's point of view, being used to polymer frames and larger firearms, that this feels like the more natural model. I would assume, and this is why I think that my girlfriend made a good choice buying this particular firearm, that a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that if you have smaller hands or a smaller grip size, you should get a smaller weapon, but then they end up with a higher recoil and the gun feels more snappy. Whereas this is so large and easy to hold still while being large that it absorbs a lot of the recoil for you. So you can be more accurate with this. There's some more benefits here. Comes optics cut, obviously, but it's got adjustable iron sights. So this was perfect straight out of the box for us, but let's say you had to change it. You can scroll these back and forth to get different windage, and then you can figure out how to adjust. I don't think there is an up and down adjustment, just left and right. It is potential. No. So yeah, there's no up and down adjustment, just the left and right on the back sight. But that is a huge improvement over some guns that just have flat installed irons that you have to use little push things for. So that's really good. The takedown, very nice. It does have a 2-pin style, but the pins are very big. They're very large. I'm going to lock the slide back to show you. You can just pop them down. And once you pop them down, they stay down. So unlike Glock, when you pull down, they push all the way back up automatically. But I can just pop those back up, put it back, and it's fine. The rail's a decent size. This is a TLR1 clone. Fits just fine. It is flush, 5-inch. I think that's probably all that's going to go on there. She doesn't like spending a lot of money on attachments for her firearm. She likes getting it to a point where she can manipulate it and use it well. So my guess is that she'll put an optic on this at some point and then leave it basically like this. Whereas I might pop out the recoil spring, I might, mess with the trigger, even though this is possibly the best stock trigger that I've ever experienced. I bought an Echelon around the same time that she bought this PDP. The Echelon is very good. It is nothing compared to this PDP trigger. The magazine release is a round button and it's very textured. It's not as, it doesn't give as much resistance as some of the other magazine releases that I'm used to, but it's buttery smooth. When you press it, you can just feel that it slides and glides in almost. And with a mag in, it drops free and clear, works great. With a magazine well where you can easily reload and not worry about angles, I would imagine that this is a very pleasurable gun to reload quickly with. So, positive reviews. I do think I prefer this 5-inch model to some of the other ones. I haven't really fired a ton of Walthers, but the shorter ones that I have fired didn't feel as good as this. So if I was recommending a Walther to somebody, I would say go with the 5-inch full-size model over some of the smaller ones. That having been said, they're also great guns. I don't think that you would be disappointed if you ended up with any of the Walther PDP series. So if you have any questions that I haven't covered, I drop a comment, I will respond. This is a gun that I'm probably not going to go on and do a, say, 1,000-round review with because it's not going to be me primarily firing this gun. So I might be able to ask my girlfriend more questions about it as she fires the weapon. But I'm not going to fire this a bunch because it is her firearm, so it's going to be her doing it mostly. So if you have a comment or a question, drop a comment. I will respond, and thanks for watching, guys.